Jessie finally musters the courage to speak with the teacher. "Mr. Jessie, can I help you? Tell me, how much do you need?" "Of course." Jessie excitedly helps the teacher lift the boxes. Leslie follows enthusiastically, and finally, Jessie gets his wish. He had a glamorous first meet with his music teacher. Jessie's veggie patch faced a mouse invasion that day. Dad's homemade mouse trap was a work of art, but Jessie, growing rogue without his dad's approval, secretly released the big mouse, sparking Dad's fury. He sternly warned Jessie, "You need to understand, this isn't a cartoon, it's the final warning. It eats our food, steals our time, and empties our wallets. Drop those fantasies, as I said." After this incident, Jessie seemed to be in a funk, feeling he could no longer float in the clouds with Leslie. When Leslie wanted to venture into the forest again, Jessie unleashed his dad's fury on her, insisting she face reality. "Dude, there's absolutely no so-called monsters in the forest." Just as Jessie turned around, he spotted a waiting to be adopted puppy by the roadside and suddenly remembered Leslie had said she loved dogs. At school, Jessie's little sister was boasting about the chocolate pie she brought, only to have it snatched by the queen bee. She was furious, and of course, Jessie had to come to the rescue. The queen bee was always collecting cash in front of the bathroom, but Leslie, determined to get justice for Jessie's sister, led the protest. Unfortunately, the queen bee was built. Jessie had to silently leave with his sister. That night, he was too distracted to draw, as Leslie's words echoed in his ear. So the next morning, Jessie tossed Leslie a poster that read "Troll Hunting Permit." What Leslie didn't expect was that Jessie also brought along a super cute puppy. Leslie named the puppy Prince Terrell and officially knighted him as the forward hunting dog. With the puppy leading, they discovered a tree that looked just like the queen bee. A massive tree monster showed off its lovely big feet. Just as the two panicked, the puppy bravely charged forward, diving into the tree monster's toe cracks. Gnawing away like a furry ninja, and surprisingly, it bit off a layer of bark. Watching the puppy defeat the tree monster, Leslie had the brilliant idea. She decided to find the queen bee's weak spot for a counterattack. So, Leslie imitated the heartthrob's tone and had Jessie write a love letter to the queen bee. Subtitles: Next day at school, Jessie secretly put the letter in the bully's book. She believed it and went to find the boy. She was brutally rejected. In front of everyone, the queen bee became the school clown. After class, Leslie found her parents renovating the house and Jessie was roped into helping. Leslie's dad was kind and especially friendly to Jessie. They worked while singing and dancing, treating the task like a fun party. This wonderful family vibe deeply moved Jessie. Leaning against the sunlit golden wall, they chatted about happy topics. Jessie finally understood that life could be this romantic and fun. That night, as soon as Jessie got home, his mom urged him to do homework, and Dad asked him to help in the veggie patch afterward. Jessie's answer surprised his parents. Yet, his parents were truly happy for Jessie. That day, two kids intentionally knocked over his sketchbook. It just so happened that the music teacher saw it. He thought Jessie had a knack for art, and hoped he wouldn't be swayed by the other kids. The teacher's simple thank you sent Jessie through the roof, but the queen bee wasn't so lucky. She was sobbing in the restroom. Jessie thought it had to do with the previous day. He wished Leslie could check in on her, but Leslie was too scared to face the queen bee alone. Finally, Leslie gathered the courage to walk into the restroom. After school, the queen bee had lost her exclusive back row seat, sitting all alone at the front, her head resting in the window, having lost all her previous swagger. The school bully often suffered domestic abuse from her dad. Neighbors called police due to noise, and they took him away. Times Earl now, all students knew and called her the criminal's daughter. Despite being isolated, Leslie comforted her, urging her to ignore others and face life bravely. Be the bravest version of yourself. With that, their feud ended. As they chatted, it suddenly poured. The two friends hurried home and, parting, agreed to attend church together as pants were forbidden for girls there. Subtitles: Leslie promised herself she would wear a skirt, and she looked like a goddess descending that day. However, Jessie felt her skirt was a bit odd, and suddenly a beautiful light seemed to shine down in the church. Leslie quickly opened her backpack and stole that magical light, hoping to install a similar bell at the secret base. Coincidentally, Jessie's sister, Hobie, overheard the idea. While Jessie was busy, she stealthily snatched the keys to the veggie patch. When Dad came home at night, he found Jessie hadn't returned the keys. Jessie thought they were in the veggie patch, but searched everywhere with no luck and felt terrible. When she mentioned the keys to Leslie, Leslie coincidentally knew where they were. Turns out Hobie had stolen the keys and gave them to her, claiming she found them on the roadside. To have the same magic, Leslie hung the keys on the big tree at this. Whenever the wind blew, the keys would jingle against bottles. Finally, Jesse tracked them down, and after school, he hurried to the secret base with Leslie. When they reached the rope swing, they saw the water had risen quite high. But the two pals bravely swung over, continuing their quest for the keys. They still dreamed of adventure games when shadows enveloped the forest and cute furry monsters surrounded them. Despite Jesse and Leslie's brave resistance, they were overpowered. Just in the nick of time, the puppy charged in, and it seemed like Jesse was possessed by Iron Man. A powerful punch sent a monster flying, and soon, numerous nasty birds appeared in the sky. Leslie and Jesse had to run for their lives. Soon, they reached the little cabin, where Leslie urged Jesse to open his backpack, shooting out a brilliant ray of light. It lit up the keys in the treetop. As they rejoiced, a horde of furry monsters charged at them. The two friends ran frantically, but when they spotted the furry monsters, Jesse and Leslie were in hot water again. Unexpectedly, a swarm of dragonfly warriors appeared, charging bravely into battle with the furry monsters. Jesse took the chance to climb to the top of a big tree, and just as he snagged the keys, a ferocious bird swooped down to attack him. He fell from the tall tree, but at that critical moment, a huge hand appeared beneath him and caught him. It gently placed him back in the little cabin, but that tree monster oddly resembled the queen bee.